and it's an honor to introduce this special neighbor and friend, Ty Hapworth.
Thank you, Caroline. I think your opinion of me can probably only go downhill at this point. So I had thoughts about maybe not saying anything after that. I also want to point out that Caroline and her wife Catherine are probably the first two friends we met here in Salem. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to say tonight, I thought about, well, what's Caroline going to say? And if you think about the first time you met me or met Micah, it's highly likely that it was through an introduction from Caroline. So I was kind of thinking about Caroline sort of acted as my hype person over the last 5 years or so. Not only introducing me to people all over Salem, as she knows people all over, but also telling me about all of you before she introduced me to you. And she also said something to the effect of, I will never lie about you, Ty, but I will always make you look good. And if that's not something that a hype person says, I'm not sure what they would say. I want to thank all the volunteers that are here tonight. Catherine Bertrand is here, and she is acting as a photographer here tonight. Jen and Lucas Ratliff were on the sign table over there and the donations, so hopefully you had a chance to meet them at some point tonight. Ashley Reed is here, and Ashley Reed helped me write and rewrite this speech several times. So if you hear something tonight and you're like, wow, I wonder why he said that, it's probably something I elected to leave in, and Ashley recommended I leave out. But if you hear anything good, that's straight from Ashley. She did a great job with me, so I really appreciate her. Can you guys all hear me okay, by the way?
Yes.
Want to recognize the elected officials we have here tonight. Tom Fury is here. Tom did not accept the Facebook invite.
What's Facebook?
What's Facebook, exactly. Josh Turiel is here. And Christine Medor. I think I got all the elected officials, right, everybody?
And Bobby's here.
And Bobby is here. He's on the stepping stone in. I want to recognize the candidates for office that we have here also. We've got Gary Gill, otherwise known as Gucci, somewhere. James Willis. Jeff Cohen was here. Jeff Cohen's still here. The only reason Jeff wasn't going to be here is he was going to pick up his wife, Laura. And then Megan McCarty is also here. Most importantly, I want to thank my wife, Micah. Let's give Micah one more round of applause. I can say that I've had a crush on Micah since 6th grade. We've been together for a long time, but beyond that crush that went through 6th grade and high school and college and Oklahoma and back here to Massachusetts, I don't think I would have the self-confidence to try stuff like this if it wasn't for the confidence that I get from having someone like her next to me. And that's not just for the emotional support, which every great relationship has, hopefully. But Micah is incredibly competent, incredibly intelligent, and she is literally playing every single role in this campaign. So if anyone wants to volunteer, I'd love to have a couple extra volunteers here. Thank you, Micah.
Make me cry.
So over the last 2 months, the most frequent question I've heard has been, so why do you want to run for office? So let's talk about that. Ever since I can remember, I've always been driven by a desire to be a part of the solutions. When I think back to September 11, 2001, I was in college. And my desire to do something and to wear America's uniform led me to join the Army and become an Army officer. And then after the Army, in the Army, I was fortunate to work under some great leaders. Men and women who taught me that in order to lead a team, you had to be authentic. You had to be honest. They taught me that bravery was about more than just a lack of fear. They taught me that bravery was more than a lack of fear. It was about doing the right thing, regardless of the consequences. And they taught me that empathy is the most important value in any leader, because you can't bring people together if you don't understand where they're coming from. After the Army, I moved to the private sector, and I led teams as small as 40 and as large as 400. And I think where I derived the most satisfaction was in the opportunity that I had to work with young leaders and apply some of what I learned in the Army to hopefully make a difference in some small ways in their careers. Now here in Salem, in a city that Mike and I have decided to plant our roots down and raise our family, I see the challenge that the city faces. I'm committed to doing everything I can to find solutions to those challenges. And we're at a critical moment in the city's history. And change isn't just coming, change is here and it's underway. But our solution to that change can't be to imagine that we can just throw up our hands and stop it. Or that we can somehow rewind the clock to an earlier period in our city's history. But what we can do is we can work together as a community to demand that change work for everyone. And making change work for everyone, I think, is about leveraging the growth that we have coming into our city to make our neighborhoods more walkable, vibrant, and safe. It means taking advantage of investment coming into our city to preserve our historic buildings. And most importantly, it means never forgetting that a big part of Salem's history has always been about welcoming new people and new ideas from all over the world. So as we're growing and as we're changing, we need to ensure that we're protecting our diversity and protecting our affordability. That's why I want to run for city council, and that's why I want to work with you to help make Salem more vibrant. Thank you all for coming out tonight.